Hello everyone, it's King Sloth back again with another video log. Today's video has been requested now, well not requested, I've had the same question asked to me so many times recently. Even people who I see out and about who know what I do have asked me the same question. And that's whether I prefer the RAF or the British Army. And for those wondering, I'm not going to say anything bad about either one of them. Both of them have served me very well for what I want out of life, and both of them really, really good and built me more as a person. However, there are things that I'd like to speak about. For those who want to do a full-term military career, want to experience the world, have a good social group, good fitness, and generically just, I guess, have a closer bond with people, I'd recommend joining the British Army. And that's not to say you can't get the same thing with the RAF, but it's not been my experience within the RAF. In the British Army, I felt like I was a lot closer to the people I worked with. We spoke about everything and anything. That just because you spent so many times away in the field, you'd go into like a battle camp, so you'd spend 2 weeks away, sleeping in some woods somewhere, with the only thing to do to keep you occupied is speaking to the other person. And in that situation, you learn so much more about that person. You build a somewhat bond with the person next to you, and you get on really well. Or you struggle with each other and you hate it. It's one of them. So yeah, you build a closer connection. There's a lot more things going on, I guess, within the British Army than what I've experienced anyway. It's a very different group of people is the best way of putting it. Fitness wise, obviously the British Army is gonna have that standard of fitness where everyone has to be, once again, what you get told through training. You might be joining the RLC, the Royal Signals, Intelligence Corps, Engineer class, but you'll always be a soldier first, so you always have to be physically fit. Hence why I remember we did Tuesday, mandatory PT. Wednesday, sport, which was normally rugby, football, boxing, high intensity sports. Thursday, mandatory PT again. So once again, you're smashing PT. For Friday would be CO's PT. And CO's PT is just a basting, really. It's just a basting before your weekend. You burn a lot of calories, you get ready, you're tired, but once you've finished, you do feel like you've had so much more. You feel like you've actually worked and you deserve your weekend off now. You deserve it. But the fitness, so working the fitness scale is like that. You have 4 days minimum fitness per week that you can do. Sometimes you can do another day. When I was training for boxing, we were doing phys every single day, as well as before work and after work. That's just how you had that constant state of staying fit. In the RAF, on the other hand, PTs, everywhere I've been, it's not been mandatory. They've recommended 2 sessions a week, but as long as you can pass your fitness test, they're not too bothered about you going to PT. As long as you can pass that fitness test, they're not too worried necessarily. As long as you can get to that standard, they're okay. Obviously, if you fail, that's when you get mandated to do PT, and you have to do it with a PTI there on a set schedule, which is what you'd expect. You expect to be able to hit that standard. Work-wise, it's very different. I felt like the British Army is more, here's an issue, go and fix it. That's me in the signals. Here's an issue, go fix it. You don't really get told how to fix it. It's more, you've done the course, you'll learn from this, you'll learn from doing it, fixing the problem yourself, or you'd ask people around you who have more experience. By that way, you get taught more, you learn more. I feel like in myself, in the British Army, I learned so much on my course to a certain level, so I know how to basic running, but I didn't have much fault finding skills. Then when you came across an error or a problem, you'd speak to someone who'd either done the course before, worked on the kit before, generically had more experience, and then literally you'd write your notes, you'd have that error down, and you'd write it down. In the RAF, it's much more paperwork orientated for everything, because you have to have your airworthiness. You need to make sure that someone's always accountable for anything. So each job that has done, say if you run into a fault, normally there's paperwork for it and you can find it, and then you just follow the diagrams and you get it done. So I guess in a way the RAF is almost better that way, and you can still learn from other people. Let's say if that fault doesn't, the paperwork doesn't work, you can speak to someone and be like, okay, this paperwork's not worked. I followed the diagram, I've done this. What would you recommend? And normally people have been in for a couple of years. They know exactly what the problem is. Okay, it's this, come here. And they'll show you how to do it. So it's sort of similar to the British Army. It's better to learn from experience, from more experienced people, and get passed down, than what it is just to be told, here's an error, go fix it. So I guess in a way the RAF is better at that. There's always some sort of documentation to follow, and hopefully that should fix your problem in the initial, first off. So with regards to the question is, do I prefer the RAF or the British Army? It's very tough. It is very tough, and I can't sound bad, but I can't give an answer. I preferred the workload in the army. Like, we're having late starts Monday, early finish Friday after CSPT. You're having your sport on Wednesday. I felt like the army, the day was broken up a lot more. So it felt long at the time when I was going through it, but in reality, it wasn't. The hours I work now compared to what I worked in the British Army, it's night and day. I was, in reality, hardly doing any tech work when in the British Army, because it was always broken up by PT or different exercises here, there, and everywhere. In the RAF, it seems like it's a lot more, I guess, more like civilian life is the best way of putting it, compared to when I was in the British Army, you felt like you were in the army and you were a soldier. In the RAF, it feels like you're in the military, but you're also civilian hours and civilian sort of style. It's really strange, but I love both of them really well. I'm looking at it back at it now. The British Army had its challenges, but also has its positives. Being in the RAF now, it has its positives, but it definitely has its challenges. But to which do I prefer? I couldn't tell you. I couldn't tell you in the slightest. But I would say for people who want to do a full-time career, like a full-term career, like your 24 years, you've got to think what you want to do. Do you want to be one of the jack of the lads sort of thing, and you want to be fit constantly, be constantly on rotations? British Army. If you want to have something more, almost like big boy job sort of thing, like more civilian orientated, join the RAF. 100%. I feel more accredited now, more prepared for civilian life being the RAF than I would have had being in the British Army. I don't understand how that's possible, but it's happened, and I am thankful. I am grateful that I transferred across and was accepted to transfer across. But anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope this answers everyone who's messaged me. I hope this answers your question. I know it's strange, but you can't answer a question when you don't know the answer yourself. It has been King Sloth. Make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you all soon. Cheers.